Welcome to The Project. Tonight, it's one of Australia's biggest sporting events, but could attending the tennis be risking the privacy of 1 million Aussies?
Also, how the effects of the LA fires could be felt in Australia as a global insurance crisis brews.
Plus, he's the purple prince of Aussie comedy. Randy Feltface stops by.
Look at him. And which country has been declared a world champion of chucking a sickie? They weren't meant to be crowned last year, but unfortunately it was postponed due to illness. They're good. They're good, let me tell you.
Very good. It better be us.
Yeah, I know. We're good. I mean, we're unreal.
We are live from the lands of the Cooler Nation. She's wearing leopard print and she's ready to roar. In 2025, it's Kate Langdon.
Do you know there's not enough people saying Happy New Year?
Come on.
Yes,
I
people, Australians, I think we're all
It's
a
2
bit...
weeks past the date.
Do you mean at all, or do you mean like
I
at
mean,
this time
at
of
all,
year?
No.
but I think really till we're thigh deep in January, we can say Happy New Year.
My theory, I think we had this exact conversation last year. First time we see anyone in the year, I don't care if it's September.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Well, Merry Christmas to all of you.
And can I tell you, for Waleed is the festive one at the desk.
Yeah.
That harbours poorly for the
Oh,
year.
don't do this. Don't do this.
No matter when it happens.
Let's get into today's top stories now. And the federal government has unveiled Australia's first national autism strategy. The $42.3 million program is aimed at improving inclusion as well as access to support and opportunities. It also includes almost $20 million for a peer support program. The plan was designed to bring Australia in line with countries like England, the US and Canada.
We're going to help level the playing field and mean that people can say that they're autistic, but are also doing and getting the same outcomes as people who don't have autism.
9 Sydney beaches are closed tonight until further notice after these mysterious balls washed up on the sand again. Between Manly and North Narrabeen, samples have been collected by the Environment Protection Agency for testing. This time, most of the balls are the size of marbles, so smaller than those that washed up on the eastern suburbs beaches in October. The local council will remove them from the beaches. So Happy New Year, everybody.
Were they were petrol balls or something?
A mix of a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. What?
Out of a whale or something?
No, not
Out of a whale?
Out of an oil tanker, you fool.
A whale? Out of the whale.
You fool! We're thigh deep in January and you're calling me a fool.
They come out of the...
Well, I love it that you've gone back to some ancient whaling traditions. There'll be blubber on the beaches. Get down there, we'll make some candles.
They use like whale vomit for perfume.
Oh, no, ambergris.
Yes.
How did you get from oil to vomit?
Anyway, it's no by
is going
2025, people. It
But that's
appears
exciting.
the latest New Year trend everyone seems to be embracing. The challenge is to cut back on spending on non-essential items like clothing. You've already got too much clothing, or books, which you could probably borrow from the library. The benefits include saving money, reducing overconsumption and freeing up cash to pay off debt.
And my rules are extensive. They're extensive, so buckle up. No new clothing, period. Not even thrifting. No new makeup or skincare. Unless my own personal dermatologist that I see in person every couple of months tells me that I need to switch up my routine.
What? I've given up my whale balls. That was the first thing.
Really?
Not buying them again.
Really? Did you drop them on a beach?
I did, yeah, maybe. No, I don't. Do you guys? I don't buy anything anyway. I'm very cheap. So this is quite easy for me to do. Now I feel like I'm in vogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think eventually the trend caught up with you.
It did, yeah.
The first thought I had watching that, though, is how much is a personal dermatologist?
Well,
That's a medical thing.
Yeah, you've got to keep that
Yeah,
going.
that's
yeah, but
Science
also
can't
if you
argue
get
with
your dermatologist on side, you can get your dermatologist to say you need a new outfit.
Yeah.
Can't you?
Right,
You
okay.
do.
You know.
Like as a prescription?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
I find that I buy my kids more than I buy clothes and stuff. Like I've got one bra which I've had for a couple of years. You know, you don't buy
Whereas
stuff for myself.
You're
I've got
buying
the
your
sa-
son's new bras all the
No,
time.
I'm buying new clothes for them, and I think a lot of
Well, because
mums do
kids
that.
grow. So they always need new stuff.
Was this
What are you saying? They're not going to grow? You know what? If enough of
My
us rub
2025
them
sucks already.
and make a magic wish, they might grow.
Okay.
Jeez. Wow, this has been an
been a hell of a start.
informative show so far. Guys, in New South Wales, the Rail, Tram and Bus Union is locked in negotiations with the pesky state government.
Again.
And I know it never ends. It sounds like things are getting pretty messy, but also quite intimate.
Oh.
There is some sticky bits in what the government's proposing, and we're hoping to work through that today.
Just define what you mean by sticky bits.
I can't. Hopefully after 11 I'll be able to. We're working through those sticky bits to try and make them a little bit less sticky.
Look, in my experience, a citrus-based cleaner is good. Also, delete your search history. That's one for the extra players, yeah.
About 1 million tennis fans will pour into Melbourne Park over the next 2 weeks to watch the Australian Open tennis. But how many of them know their beautiful angelic faces are being closely watched and monitored?
A new privacy clause in this year's condition of entry means that all fans attending the Australian Open will be watched by CCTV cameras that may incorporate facial recognition technology. Organisers say it's for our own good and will enhance security and patron safety by identifying and ejecting scallywags.
You cannot be serious!
I guess it's to prevent serious incidents like that time in 2009 when Serbian and Bosnian fans piffed chairs at each other. Or it's to prevent streakers like this guy who once Porky Pigged his way past Serena Williams. Solid tan lines, mate. But it all feels a tad dystopian.
Oh no, did not know that.
It's a bit weird because I'm not a troublemaker. So I'm like, why are you scanning my face? I don't want that.
It doesn't bother me because I work in supermarkets and I think they're doing that there as well.
As long as they protect the data correctly, I think it's fine.
Today, Tennis Australia told us...
We take our privacy obligations seriously. As part of the implementation of facial recognition technology, we conducted a thorough privacy impact assessment to ensure compliance with all relevant legislation and best practice.
Answer my question!
Late last year, the Privacy Commissioner found Bunnings had breached Australian privacy laws by using facial recognition technology on its customers without their consent. But the Oz Open is different as fans opt in to facial scanning when they buy their ticket. Some ways to confuse the system are to either don a fake tash, keep your lips pursed all day, or get radical body modification surgery so you won't be recognised by the cameras or your loved ones. So is it justified? Or is this whole thing an elaborate scheme to prevent us from poisoning Novak Djokovic's food again?
You know you're being monitored wherever you are, so get on with it.
We better be on our best behaviour then, I guess.
Are you a troublemaker?
No, I'm not a troublemaker.
These guys are troublemakers.
These guys are you guys troublemakers?
No. Let's all laugh on the highway to doom.
I think it's actually pretty serious and we shouldn't laugh about it, Kate.
You put your face on TV every day. What's the problem?
OK, point proven. No, the point is why are they doing that to people who are going to the tennis?
Data harvesting.
Yeah,
because of the famously wild tennis crowds.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Throwing their strawberries and cream at each other.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just once again a company just taking the piss from the public and then buried in the terms and conditions. It's not necessary.
But also there's no disclosure about what happens to any of it.
No.
So we've actually got, it might be perfectly safe, but we've got no idea.
Yeah, but
we just
also,
simply don't.
but safe, it's not necessary. So stop doing things that are not necessary and surveilling people.
Also, if the Australian Open are watching, I think you're doing a great job and I'd love some free tickets.
Here,
so thank you.
who wants the tickets? Time for a break. We'll see you soon. Welcome back to the project.
Now, US burger chain Wendy's is returning to Australia. It's set to open a new flagship store in Surfers Paradise tomorrow. An American fast food icon known for its square patties. That's the signature. It closed its 11 Aussie stores back in the 80s. This time round, plans to open 200 outlets in the next 10 years.
And here to tell us why Australia definitely needs another fast food joint is Chief Operations Officer Ron Bellamy. Hey Ron, what does Wendy's offer that Grilled, Hungry Jack's, Macca's, Burger Tree, Huckster Burger and Betty's Burgers don't?
All right, so I think I'm in for trouble because I actually didn't know there were other fast food restaurants in Australia. I didn't know, guys, I heard you comedy initially. You're totally right. I mean, look, like the last thing Australia needs is another American concept thinking they can be the ones to serve Australia. But you know what? We're here to do it, right? When I look at it, I mean, you guys have your clowns, you've got your colonels, you've got your jacks, and what you don't have is a queen. And we're here to show how all the other guys how to do it right. So what does that mean for us? Like, it is about... Yeah, go for it. I'll pause, man. Go for it.
No, that's okay. Well, the thing that interests me most is the training of the Australian staff. I'm very into industrial relations and human resources, but we found one of your training videos from the 80s, and I really hope you are still using it. Let's have a look.
See red juices on the top of the meat. It's time to give the turn and press a repeat. Do it again just like you did before. Do the four-corner press just one time more.
I mean, it beats the hell out of the PowerPoint presentation, I have to say.
Well, you know, I love that training video. I think it's really important to meet the youth of today where they're at. You missed the part where we've got Vanilla Ice trying to train people how to do a Frosty.
Very good.
We also have a real queen here, by the way, just as a side note. Now,
This doesn't live.
Who's the real queen?
The queen.
The one
they're
that
the king.
died
Oh my
recently.
God! I just found out. We have a king. That's right. But
We've got
had a
some
queen.
bad news, Ron.
Anyway, well, this question isn't going to really work, but let's give it a go anyway. If I change my name to Wendy, can I get free burgers for life?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you guys. Can you repeat it? Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, is there a way I could get free burgers for life, potentially changing my name to Wendy Taunton?
Sure, I mean, I'm good for it, man. I mean, we'll just post that up to your socials and we'll get you hooked up.
Oh, he knows exactly what he's doing.
He also has red pigtails, Ron. So.
Yeah. Very good. Hey, Ron, thank you very much for your time. It's chaos over there. We understand. We appreciate it. Thank you.
No, all good. Thank you, guys.
It's time now to see what's making news around the world.
Negotiations continue in Qatar, but a deal between Israel and Hamas for a ceasefire in Gaza is close to being finalised.
We're on the brink of a proposal that I laid out in detail months ago.
President Biden says it will also secure the release of the hostages and ensure more humanitarian aid reaches Palestinians. The death toll in Gaza has now passed 46,500. Preparations for Donald Trump's inauguration in Washington, D.C. next week are well underway. Dress rehearsals are in full swing.
Order! Arms!
Country music star Carrie Underwood and the Village People will also be performing. Security measures have been ramped up, with almost 50 kilometres of anti-scale fencing being installed around the Capitol building.
It's an ever-changing threat environment, and so we stay flexible.
And the shines literally come right off the Paris Olympics. Around 100 athletes have returned their now tarnished medals. Many have publicly voiced their concerns over the poor quality. The issue went viral after two French swimmers complained online. One reckoned his looked like crocodile skin.
Pretty crappy to just get this peeling medal after all that hard work. Shayna Jack actually has two, and she only lets one be touched by people because she wants to preserve one of her goals.
Oh, so the question would be, which one's the bad one?
Yeah.
Which one do you give to people? This one
They're
doesn't
both
do that.
gold.
Yeah.
They're both gold.
Yeah. What a shame, hey?
Yeah.
All right, we're off to break. See you soon. Well, the summer's biggest tearjerker is here. So Georgie Tunny sat down with star Andrew Garfield to tell him just how much he made her cry.
Andrew Garfield is a Hollywood triple threat. Broadway darling, leading man and literal superhero.
Who the hell are you? I'm Peter Parker. I am Spider-Man.
The critics rate him too, racking up a Tony, a Golden Globe, a couple of Oscar noms, and why wouldn't they? With performances like this.
Sorry, my Prada's at the cleaners, along with my hoodie and my flip-flops, you pretentious douchebag.
Now he's teamed up with Florence Pugh for We Live in Time.
Hi.
A film that will cause you to have very big feelings.
Clock is ticking.
What's the rush?
Because I'm worried that there's a very distinct and real possibility that I am about to fall in love with you.
Now, Andrew, I saw this film at 10 a.m. in the morning and then had to come into work, and I looked like this.
It's a really beautiful shot.
Yeah, how would you like to respond? Yeah, to this.
I think it's so beautiful that you seem to have been wrecked. I think we all want to get wrecked right now by something that's heartfelt and emotional, and hopefully like wrecking but life-affirming as well.
The former, most definitely. The latter, we shall see. Were you wrecked by doing the film?
Yeah, definitely. But it was a strange thing. I was very, very excited to go to work every day. John is a brilliant director and Florence is a brilliant actor. So every day, I think we were all just very excited to get back to our strange little world.
How do you decompress, though?
What's great about when you get to have big emotional catharsis, whether it's in life or in work or otherwise, you kind of feel lighter afterwards.
You and Florence made my heart hurt while I was watching this. The chemistry between you is off the charts. Was it instant?
I would say pretty instant. And I think it's down to who Florence is as a person and as an actor and the connective trust that she enabled us to have. Thank God we really love each other. We really, really like enjoy each other and care for each other and want to see each other succeed and get to the places that we didn't think we could get to. We want to help each other get to those places in an emotional and expansive way on set.
Yes, but also in a hilarious way, because it's a genuine rom-com. You kind of nail that balance between comedy and tragedy and just how intertwined they are. In your own life, have there been moments where the heartbreak has been kind of interrupted or is mixed with the absurdity?
I think that's one of the great defense mechanisms that human beings have. When things get far too painful, we have a very, very great instinct, particularly in the UK and in Australia, of gallows humor and, you know, being able to laugh to keep from crying in lots of situations, to laugh to keep from falling into a pit of abject despair, to find the ability just to look up and go, what the is going on? I guess I'm going to keep living through this somehow. And I think, you know, finding those humorous moments is a gift when we can do it.
The film caused waves online when a poster featured a rather show-stealing carousel horse.
What was it that surprised you more? Was it the viral nature of the carousel horse or your chicken shop date?
If this wasn't here, do you think we'd actually have it go on a date? Do you think this is up the fact that we could have actually gone on a date at some point? Maybe. It's so funny, isn't it? Because the world has changed so much from, I don't know, I'm not going to ask your age, but I think you're probably like maybe a little bit younger than me. I'm assuming you're like early 30s?
I am early 30s, yes.
Yeah, like 31.
Andrew, thank you so much. I'm 33. The skincare's working. Thank you. Thank you.
But for me as a 41-year-old, growing up, pop culture moments were so few and far between. They were so rare. They were like sacred objects. And now, since the carousel horse and the chicken shop date, there's been 1,000 others. But honestly, I find it quite moving that I get to participate in strangers' WhatsApp threads.
Message threads and also people's camera rolls. Andrew, never forget.
You never look better.
There was a lot going on there. You can bawl your eyes out like Georgie.
She didn't seem sad in that interview.
No,
she did.
She got over whatever it was. Anyway, from Thursday, When We Live in Time opens in cinemas. Welcome to the project.
Time for more of today's top stories now. And a council worker is lucky to be alive tonight after surviving a house collapse at Macrae on Victoria's Mornington Peninsula. Check it out. On the balcony and conducting an inspection when the ground gave way, the man suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Residents from 7 nearby homes have been evacuated as a precaution.
Yeah, he reckons it was only like a couple of minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. He was just there, and next minute he was sliding down the hill, and he just jumped.
We're worried about a sinkhole opening up there, but who's to say? We're lucky so far no one's been killed.
Queensland community is in shock tonight after a 13-year-old was charged with the attempted murder of a Coles worker in Ipswich. The teenager allegedly stabbed her in the back as she stocked shelves. Police claim it was a random attack that's left the 63-year-old fighting for life in hospital. Customers raced to her aid as others chased the suspect, holding him down until police arrived.
A newly released report says Donald Trump would have been convicted over his attempts to cling to power in 2020 if he hadn't won the 2024 election. The report by Special Counsel Jack Smith was released by the Justice Department today. Smith found that Trump engaged in, quote, an unprecedented criminal effort to overturn his election defeat in 2020.
Los Angeles has made it through another high-risk fire day without any catastrophic flare-ups, but there's no rest for fire crews as another blaze fuelled by strong wind has broken out near Ventura. And as investigators try to figure out what caused the Palisades fire, there are fears high winds could push flames towards the neighbouring suburb of Brentwood.
I mean, if you look at Pacific Coast Highway, the fire jumped 5 lanes. That's huge. That's massive. So that's the concern.
So despite all the devastation, there are some amazing stories emerging from the ashes. Casey Colvin lost his home, but 6 days later, he discovered that his dog had survived the inferno. He was completely overcome when he was reunited with his furry friend, Oreo.
There he is.
That is so beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
You need those moments,
Gorgeous.
right? After just so much widespread suffering, you need to have those little
Beautiful.
moments of hope.
Yeah, absolutely. But also distillation of what matters. Like that was the thing about that. Right?
Yeah.
This is invaluable.
Yes, that's true. Love.
Beautiful moment, Katie. Thank you. Now, first, they lost their insurance, then fire destroyed their homes. That's the reality facing thousands in LA as wildfires, as we just saw, continue to rage. The unfolding insurance catastrophe there exposing a worldwide crisis that could spell disaster here.
The LA fires are an absolute tragedy for those directly affected in LA, but they're a tragedy for people here in Australia who are struggling with the cost of living.
Lives upended, homes destroyed.
This is my house, and nothing prepares you for this amount of destruction.
Thousands uninsured.
They have no fire insurance.
For years, insurers have been pulling out of California as the effects of climate change ramp up.
These insurance people decided to cancel their fire.
Since 2023, 7 of the state's 12 biggest insurance companies have limited, paused or dropped nearly 3 million policies.
Getting fire insurance has been really, really difficult.
LA's insurance catastrophe laying bare a global insurance crisis.
It doesn't matter whether people believe in climate change or not. What matters is insurance companies know that their payouts have gone through the roof and the insurance companies are going to increase people's premiums. That's just the way it works.
A new report finding the fires in LA are likely to push insurance premiums higher here, where 15% of Aussie households are already under extreme insurance stress.
All the insurance companies are actually linked, and accidents in one part of the world lead to higher premiums in other parts of the world. No matter where in the world the disasters are, we share a slice of the cost.
And the results can be catastrophic.
Still shattered by it all. It's still hard to come to terms with what's happened.
In July, Vicky and her husband Stuart cancelled their contents insurance after their annual home and contents premium jumped from $1,800 to $6,000 in the wake of intense fire and floods in the Goulburn Valley in northern Victoria.
It was the only thing we could do to be able to live, with the prices of everything else going up.
Just 6 months later, on Christmas Day, their home caught fire.
We could see massive clouds of smoke. The house was fully lit. Flames everywhere. It was horrifying.
So in a country increasingly ravaged by wildfires and floods, will Vicky and Stuart's nightmare become a reality, shared by countless more Australians?
Paula Jazabkowski is an expert in global insurance and joins us now. Paula, why would fires on the other side of the world impact us here?
Now, the problem is that it's the same global capital market that pays for large-scale disasters everywhere in the world. That's called the reinsurance market, and it's insurance of insurance companies. So normally the premiums of the many pay for the losses of the few. When we've got the losses of the many, it's that global market that pays to make people good. That market's taken quite a beating year on year over the last few years, including from our floods in 2022. And it's going to take quite a beating now from these LA fires. And that means the cost of capital, reinsurance capital, to all insurers around the world will go up. And they'll have to charge that on to their policyholders. And they'll also have to retain more of the risk on their own balance sheet, which will come at a cost to them. So that comes at a cost to us.
These premiums are going up a huge amount. How much of that is actually literally the price of risk? That's just what it's costing insurance companies, and so they have to put the premiums up by this amount. And how much of this is insurance companies being opportunistic about this and just getting cream off the top?
Yeah, look, I can tell you that premium pricing is a complex thing. So premium pricing is made up of everything from what you expect the future reconstruction costs to be in an inflationary market. So after a disaster, costs of reconstruction go up. And then it's also what will the future cost of capital be, which is what the reinsurance market will charge. And then, of course, it is a market. It is also beholden to shareholders. So I wouldn't call that opportunism. I'd call that's the way capitalism and markets work. And they do need and are regulated to cover those costs. And, you know, something that you might do to your house to fix one aspect of it actually might make it more expensive to rebuild it another way. So I think we need to move beyond trying to find a scapegoat that way to trying to find out what we can do to make things better for homeowners.
So, Paula, because you know more about insurance than anyone on this desk, well, how would you fix the insurance market?
So the first thing is at the moment we do full indemnity insurance. Your house is harmed and you get it rebuilt exactly the same as it was. Maybe we need to start looking at some different kind of cash product that will get you back on your feet, but it'll be less expensive because it doesn't fully rebuild like for like in an inflationary market. So that's one thing. Should we change how we understand insurance? The other thing is I do think we need some sort of government industry interaction on how can we get those prices down, how can we spread the risk across all the disasters. So, yep, government intervention, never a popular one. And thirdly, we need to have some really serious discussions about resilience. So how should houses be built? Who's responsible for risk mitigation? And we're all in that. Homeowners, local governments, state governments. How do we get that risk down so that we have less losses in the first place? After all, you don't want money to make you good after you lost your house. You want to not lose your house in the first place.
Hey, Paula, you make insurance sound really interesting.
It is, trust me.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Wow. Guys, at the Australian Open, I don't know if you know this, but there's a camera in the players' gym, which gives everyone a sneak peek of all the players down there. Now, Spanish champ Carlos Alcaraz was either warming up for his match or maybe like a more adult activity. I'm not sure.
Is that Carlos behind?
So there's Carlos in the singlet. Now he's stretching.
Oh, yeah, this is one of the more interesting stretches I've seen him do.
Blair, we are done. On that note, of Carlos Alcaraz doing that to warm up, we are done on Blue Zone.
Whoa! I've got to start playing tennis. That's it's way more fun than golf. He's a ball boy. Maybe a blue ball boy. I don't know.
You're watching The Project. We'll be back soon.
Guys, last night an Uber driver was held up at knife point at a 24-hour car wash in Sydney, and the owner of the car wash did not do a great job of defending his business's reputation.
Is there anything you'd like to say to that customer?
I'm sorry that it did happen to you. I hope it doesn't deter anybody else from coming in and washing their cars. It doesn't always happen, very rarely.
Very rare.
It does happen, though. It sounds like... I reckon if it happens, you should defend yourself by doing wax on, wax off.
Oh, very good.
Not bad at all.
A Melbourne woman got creative when she decided to hold a garage sale to help pay for her divorce. Her marketing campaign included free-flowing wine, upbeat vibes, and a flyer with a tagline that read, "Every dollar feeds a lawyer for 3.3 seconds. It was a huge success. She sold everything from toys and household items to costume jewellery.
And Hannah, Queen of the Hustle Gunston, joins us now. Hannah, what a story this is. How did the big day go?
The day was really fun. Well, obviously started off very stressful trying to organise for everybody. But yeah, it was a really, really fun day, a warm day. Thankfully, we put on some drinks. And yeah, it brought some crowds in, which was the whole point of the poster. So,
Hannah, what sort of people came along knowing what the intent of the garage sale was?
It was mainly people here to support the cause.
Nice.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with it. It was. There were a few people that just popped in and out. They came along and stayed for a beer. Some people stayed for 5 minutes. Some people stayed for 3 hours. But mainly people were there just to support me, give me a hug. It was really lovely. It kind of like restores your faith in humankind. It's great.
Hey, Hannah, did your ex-husband know about it? And do you think he did a secret drive-by to see what of his you were getting rid of?
Perhaps. No, I'm not aware that he knew about it, but I think he will know about it now.
I'm really sorry to hear about the divorce. It's a pretty gutting thing to go through. What were some of the hardest things for you to let go of? I mean, did you get rid of your wedding dress? Did you get rid of the engagement ring?
Nothing that extreme. No, it was just all my belongings, lots of clothes of mine, lots of kids' stuff. You know, after Christmas, it's a great excuse to kind of go through everything, and with moving house and things like that, got rid of a lot of stuff. Anything that kind of had a bit of a bad juju to it definitely went out on the rack. People in the community actually did like a little runway for us, which was nice. So there was some trying on of clothes. It was very fun.
Hannah, do I have to get divorced to do this, or can I just sell stuff and drink wine?
Absolutely not. As long as I get an invite, that's amazing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Also, I wanted to ask, because lawyers are pretty expensive. We all know, whenever I have lunch with Waleed, he sends me an invoice. But how many minutes of the lawyer's time do you think you paid for?
I don't think I paid for many minutes of the lawyer's time, but I definitely got to pay for my removal van. So yeah, that's all it is.
Good.
Sometimes the day is worth, sometimes the day is just worth more than the actual cash at the end of the day. So yeah, it was a wholesome day, restored my faith in humanity, and yeah, it was more than the money in the end. So.
Well, Hannah, it sounds like a pretty great form of therapy, if nothing else. I'm glad the day went really well for you. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Beautiful. Well,
you haven't paid my last invoice, by the
No,
way.
and I never will. I refuse to. Speaking of wholesome guys, on Sunrise this morning, Sam Mack found himself at a Penrith hotel checking out the rooftop pool. What a view they must have had from up there. Now, I don't think safety was the #1 priority.
Any rules I need to know about Theo? He's not really big on a chat, is he, Theo?
Yeah, he's more of a swimming kind of kid.
Fair enough.
And drowning at the moment.
It might be sunrise, but it's also sunset for Theo, it turns out.
Now, brace yourself, Australia. Germany has been declared the world champions of chucking a sickie. Germany's biggest insurer has found its citizens take on average a whopping 20 sick days off each year.
20?
Putting to shame Australia's measly 14 days.
That's really surprising.
Yeah.
Really surprising. Here to comfort the nation is sickie specialist, HR, hassle and oracle of everything, Mel Butter. Mel, I don't think I'm understating this when I say this is a national tragedy.
Spot on, Sarah. Sickies are an Australian national institution. The coat of arms is a kangaroo and an emu, and if you listen very carefully, they're putting on a croaky voice because they're hungover after a Sunday session. Now, we're being beaten by Germany. That is actually quite shameful. And if you can't find it within yourself to take over 20 sick days a year, then you are not eating enough discounted chicken drumsticks from the Servo Bain Marine.
So, asking for a friend, what's the best illness to fake for a sickie?
I would say gastro, Waleed. It is nice and quick, broad, easy recovery time. You don't have to fake a sick voice, and no one should, fingers crossed, have any questions. Just remember, though, when you come back to work, sip a Hydrolite and always have the phrase, both ends locked and loaded. You can even do a little post-gastro sickie work joke, if you like. You could say, it looks like this place really gives me the shits, guys.
Very good.
OK, Mel, asking for a different friend, what day would you say is the best day of the week for a sickie?
Do not take a Monday off. All that does. No Mondays, Kate, please. It just tells your boss that you're a shambles of a person with a drinking problem who stays up all night scrolling TikTok watching ingrown hair removal videos and Matilda's highlights until you wake up the next day and it's way too late to go to work, even though you were sure you set your calculator for 8:78 a.m.
Well, asking for myself here, do you chuck sickies, Mel?
What do you think? I'm at work now and I've got a minute and a half left till I knock off for the week. I don't have a real job. I've never really had a real job. I was once paid to commentate a dog burrito eating contest. This isn't a job. I turn up here to the project week after week, and what for? Only to be grilled by you, Mr. Media, about my private medical history? Do I chuck sickies? None of your business, you inner city puffer vest wearing haircut of a man.
Oh my God.
Someone needs an ambulance right about now.
Holy, I'm chucking a sickie right now.
Yeah. Hey, Mel, I think if this data included sickies from kids at school, Australia surely would win hands down.
I agree, Sarah. It was very hard as a child to keep the ruse up that you were sick because you'd forget, right? And you'd pop yourself on the couch with a bowl of ice cream with ice magic, and then Mum would drop the classic line, well, it looks like someone's feeling better. If you're well enough to watch TV, you're well enough to go to school. No. Mum, let's work together on this. You also get a day off to look after me, so go sip your jarrah and bury your nose in a Mills and Boon book, you filthy mole.
Thanks, Mel.
Thank you.
Time for a break. More projects coming up.
Back with the projects.
Well, our next guest is Australia's Purple Prince of Comedy.
It was late December and I was feeling Christmas horny. If you don't celebrate Christmas, Christmas horny is the kind of intense sexual arousal you can only reach by spending quality time with your family. It had been a strange Christmas because earlier in the year we lost my uncle. We found him again, but he was dead.
I have so many questions. Would you please welcome Randy Bell?
Oh my gosh, it's so nice to be back here. I love what you've done with the place. Taunts!
Hey, my man.
Good to see you. I haven't seen you. Is that too much?
It's a
Am I
bit.
too close?
It's a little bit, but I kind
I'm
of like
coming
it.
out too strong.
Have you got a bit of that horny
relaxing.
Christmas energy still
going? A
going?
little bit of horny
potentially?
Christmas, yeah. I should.
Now,
hello.
speaking of your Christmas energy.
Yes.
Condolences about your uncle.
Yes, sorry, yes,
Yes.
he did. It was good for comedy, though. Kate.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Sarah and I would like to know, is there a Mrs. Feltface?
Well, I'm taking applications currently.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Best way to
that
do
is
it.
why I'm here. This is now phone in. Can you do phone ins? We put a number on the bottom of the screen. Text me on 1800 Feltface. I'm looking for love. Why are you interested in applying, Kate?
Well, I've got... I thought you were me.
Either of you.
What?
Taunts, you.
Oh, man, whatever.
I'm not picky at this point.
So why am I the only one you've left out?
Well, you and I have that thing we don't talk about.
The ship sailed.
Do you really want to bring this up on air, Waleed? Is now the time to air our dirty laundry?
How dirty was the laundry, Mr. Feltface?
Dirty.
Really?
Pretty dirty.
Now, Randy.
Look at him looking at me. You can feel the energy.
Am I not allowed to?
No,
look at
it's
you
good.
anymore?
It's good.
What
He's
the
just
hell
got that
happened
cheeky
between
little.
you two?
Well, a few bits and pieces we can't talk about on television.
Oh, okay.
Normally, I take a little bit longer to derail an interview, but straight out of the gates. Straight out of the gates.
Let's talk comedy then.
Let's talk comedy. It's your favourite subject. Taunts.
I love it. And
After
I love
golf.
After golf, that's so
Have
true.
you ever seen Taunts warm up for a gig? Do they know this? Backstage,
I didn't know this.
comedians backstage are all pacing
they're
around and
nervous,
running their
yeah.
sets.
Yeah.
Taunts behind the curtain just practicing his golf.
Yeah. It's humiliating. Yeah.
It's like
good.
that in the change room as well. That's
It's meditative. You have a change room.
Yeah.
The project locker room. What happens in there?
Yeah, a lot of locker room talk. You wouldn't know about it.
Yep.
Well, Lee mainly just talked about that night you spent together.
That magical night.
No, you've been touring. You were on a crazy tour in Europe and America.
Too many shows.
Really?
Too many ones. Yeah, I've got to wind it back a bit. It's been a bit hectic.
Oh, so are you quitting?
No, God, no. I just need balance, man.
What?
I just need balance. I just tour too much. I've seen too much Taunts.
Is this what balance looks like?
I don't know. I'm leaning on you right now, so I'm quite
Are you
calm.
glad to be home?
Just shut up and ask your pre-prepared question.
That was the question. Are you glad to be home?
Oh, yeah, I love being home. It's great. Touring in 2024 was actually pretty hectic. There was a lot going on in the world. I don't know if you noticed. I was in Europe and there was a war going on. And then I was in the UK when Keir Starmer was elected. And I was in the States for the election. And then I got back here and I was like, what's the big news? Cool cabanas, folks. People are putting bloody tents on the beach. Can't wait to hear what the Prime Minister has to say about this. So it's good to be home. Feels calm, feels peaceful, feels gentle.
Oh, you have blown up online.
Yeah.
Do you get recognised now?
I do actually,
Really?
mostly by airport security, which is actually handy going through the X-ray machine when people actually know what these things are for. Because generally, can you see these taunts?
Yeah, I see them. Yeah.
These show up on the X-ray machine and they're not good. They're weapons in the wrong hands. So, but actually, you know, I got more. I keep touching you. Is that okay?
No, I love it.
I feel like there's proximity.
I haven't been
often
touched
get
like this in a while.
Anybody else? I can move along the panel.
We've already...
We'd love to be touched by you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can I do this? It's going to ruin the magic.
Oh, no, this is a disaster.
Frame him out.
Oh, my goodness.
Whoa! Hello, it's nice to see you again.
Did we establish...
I'm flying blind now. Hello, I'm going over here. Has this ever happened before? It's so much nicer on this side of the desk.
I've been trying to get over there for so long.
I know. How many years do you have to be on the project to get to this position?
Well,
depends who you are.
Well,
for him, it'll be a long time.
A long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, coming up after the break, folks.
No, there's no break. There's the end of the show.
Oh, okay. What are we doing next?
Well, we were trying to promote your tour. Do you not want us to do that?
You can do that. I'm not here until July, so buy tickets now. Buy tickets for a show in July. I'm sure nothing will happen between now and then.
Stressed out.
Am I screaming too much?
Why are you stressed?
Yeah, you need to calm
you
down.
know what? You sit backstage in the green room. Sorry, you sit backstage in the green room, and you guys are out here talking about the news, and you're just back there getting all hepped up, ready to go, and then I just come out and scream for 8 minutes, and then I just have to go back to my sad, lonely life.
Calm down.
Do you need a massage, mate?
Is anyone else getting shot between these two? This is kind of exciting.
Oh, how I've missed these hands.
It's like the eggplant emoji was made for you.
It is. I am an eggplant emoji.
I haven't seen chemistry like
I know.
this since Kermit and Miss Piggy.
Yes.
This is really going on.
I'll be Miss Piggy.
Isn't that a compliment?
It is. I think so. Yeah, it's good.
Well,
should we?
Have I thrown? Should I go back over there?
No,
Randy,
stay
you
here.
plug.
The first banana tour.
Oh, you want me to read the auto cue? That's not going to work.
I want to see you do it.
That is not going to work.
For Randy's first banana tour are available on the website. Randy,
July.
will you kiss me?
Yes.
Oh, what?